Go ahead, I'm not really being very delicate about this. You could conceivably put it on a piping bag, squirt it on in there if you like, but pastry cream is just the filling. Remember, it's serving a functional role here more than it is a beautiful role. It's really not adding to the appearance as much as it's adding to the function. So it's going to hold your fruit in place. It's going to do a good job of doing that. It's going to also add flavor, of course, and height. But generally the pastry cream is just a filling. So I'm just kind of pushing it in there. I am being careful because I don't want to crack my tart shell. Right? I don't want to crack it. It's very delicate. And if I push too hard, I could end up cracking the shell, and then I'm looking at starting over. So I don't want to have to do that. So I'm just going around, just kind of pressing it into place. If you want your pastry cream to look a lot smoother, you can always put it into a mixing bowl, paddle it for a little bit. It'll suddenly take on a much more smooth appearance. The pastry cream at this point has a little bit of a gelatinous texture to it because of all that cornstarch. But remember, I'm not going to be seeing all that much pastry cream on my particular fruit tart. So pastry cream in there, I'm just going to start assembling to whatever I think looks nice. And in this case, I like oranges. So I'm going to start placing oranges around the outside of mine. I probably will have to make some more orange supremes. I don't think I'll make it all the way around with the amount I have here. So you can see, this is not rocket science. It's really not that hard to do, but the idea here is that placement is going to make a big difference in how your final tart looks. So let's keep going around here. I'm just going to make sort of a pattern of oranges. I like oranges, but then that's me. Not everybody likes oranges. They're a lot of work to make supremes. There's no doubt about that. If you find your fingers to be too clumsy, like me, and if you have a small mini spatula, this is where this little tool comes in handy. Sometimes your fingers are too clumsy, and in order to grab an orange supreme, you've got to squeeze it so hard you squish it, right? Well, you can prevent that by just using a tool to help you. The tool can be what does a lot of the work, helps you lift things, helps you place things where you want them without having to squish things and put too much pressure on them. There's a lot of things in the world of food that are too delicate to be handled by your hands. So as you see, I'm going for a nice orange rim around the outside here. The tool also allows me to make small adjustments, so I can go around and just adjust these. If you happen to see, if you have an orange supreme and you really want to use a lot of them, make sure you don't have any seeds. I just found a seed in one of mine. Pull out the seed. I'll tell you, if the pith is bitter, the seed's even worse. If you eat an orange seed, I don't know if you ever crunched down an orange seed before, but it's a rather bitter experience. And it's not very good. So think about that. If you leave an orange seed, chances are someone will end up biting into it. And then they're not going to appreciate that. So as you can see, I'm probably going to have to cut one more orange in order to fill this space. This is probably going to happen to you too, where you run out of something, you may need to cut some more. That is alright, but in the meantime, what I'm going to do while I'm doing this is I'm going to go ahead and start assembling the rest of it, sort of planning out my attack and the kind of things I'd like to do for the rest of this tart. Now, I'm just shingling this fruit. Do that. I think I need to put it in the other direction so I can shingle. Shingling is one way of assembling these. Slices of strawberry look very nice when they're shingled. However, There's also other ways of doing it. There's no reason why strawberries can't be quartered and made into wedges. That works fine too. You may need a lot more strawberries to do the same job, but they can do just fine that way. I'm also taking a careful look at my strawberries as I'm using them to make sure they all look nice. If I find one with a bad bruise on it, or that is an unusual shape or size and doesn't match the others, I'll set that one aside, see if I can find a use for it later. But I'm not going to ignore it because I want to make sure that all these look nice and that whatever customer gets this is going to be able to say, you know, that really looks like someone took the time to put it together nicely. Now, you may be wondering how much these things cost. If you go to Whole Foods Market in St. Louis, for a Tart this big, you'll pay about $30. What are you paying for? Not ingredients. You're paying for time, for labor. Yeah, that's the thing. You can see how much time it's taking us to make these today. If I have to pay my staff, whatever I pay them, $9, $10, $11 an hour, whatever I happen to want to pay them, it's going to take them time. Even when they're moving at a good tilt, they're going to take time. And I've got to charge for that. I have to. Otherwise, I'm losing money. So that's why they cost so much. Even a small one, like the little 4-inch, would be like $7 or $8. They're pretty expensive. I used to make about 400 little miniature ones every day. That's one of the first things I did when I came in the morning in the pastry shop. Pull out all the fruit. All the shells are already made. All I have to do is squirt in some pastry cream in each one, put the fruit in every one of them, and I need to glaze each and every one of them. And I'll show you the glazing process here in a moment. I'm going to move on to kiwi. I want this to look nice and full. I want it to look like it's really just bursting over with fruit. So I'm going to fill this whole center with kiwi. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm being skimpy at all. I want everybody to think that I'm just giving them a lot for their money, even though it really isn't all that much more. So I'm not going to put one layer of kiwi, I'm going to put several layers of kiwi in here. So it's really obvious to anyone eating it that they're going to have just a really great time eating it. Now I don't have enough oranges at this point, but I do have enough strawberries cut. So I'm going to go ahead and continue the strawberries around, acting as though the oranges are already there. I'll come back with the oranges after I'm done with this part here. Make sure it's all full. I got to be selective though. Got to be checking, make sure these things actually look correct. Make sure they fit. If they don't fit, I'll make adjustments. Keep going around. That's where my tools come in handy as well. I just need to tuck these strawberries carefully under each other to get them to come together as one continuous circle. In order to get that to happen, this tool is my friend.